When I was looking through the core principles of
Right.
learning, and I'm looking at number 5, I thought this was particularly interesting, but also I think one of the more, as we locals like to say, the oh so chim one. So maybe
Right.
you can just let us know a little bit more about what is content is organized around key concepts and principles that are fundamental to understanding the structure of a subject. What exactly does that mean, and
Right.
how, and what can I do as a lecturer?
Yeah, I mean, it does sound a little bit complicated maybe initially, but think about it. When you learn something, there's
Right.
often lots of information.
Of course.
And as we know, you can't take all of this information in at once.
Okay.
And we're often told now as well that knowledge is increasing exponentially. Now,
Right.
the problem with this, there's more and more knowledge, more and more information, but our brains are pretty much the same as they were 2,000 years ago, maybe even 20 or 50,000 years ago. And as we'll see in one of the other principles to do with memory, there's
Right.
only so much we can take in. So we can't keep teaching more and more and more content.
Right.
So the only way we can really deal with this is to look at what we're teaching, the structure of the subject, and say, what are the core things that people need to learn? Now, in making this tutorial,
Right.
we're looking at evidence-based practice.
Okay.
And we're looking at some core principles of learning. So the key things that we're teaching here is what are these core principles,
Okay.
and what makes them important for the way we design the learning experience and the way we teach.
Right.
So we're not teaching lots of, if you like, supporting theory and a lot of other residual factual data. We're focusing on, right, if you want to teach better,
Right.
you need to apply these core principles of learning to the way you design that experience and go about it. That's the key concepts, and that's why we hope if you can teach to those key concepts and principles, people can take that information in, connect it together, think about it and build understanding.
Okay.
And therefore they will have a meaningful learning experience rather than just taking in lots of bits of facts,
Right.
which are not connected in their minds, which quickly get forgotten. And this is what happens in a lot of classrooms. Teachers are throwing out lots of information, and the students can't see the wood from the trees, and they may memorise a few bits. Within a week, they've forgotten 80% of those few bits.
Right.
And all they are is confused, and it just becomes a kind of continual process of teachers trying to get students to learn enough and students learning enough to jump through the tests.
Right.
And then they quickly forget that it's not building up
Okay.
a solid,
Right.
coherent understanding of a topic,
Okay.
which is more likely to stay with them.
So for me as a lecturer, I need to be able to identify what are the key aspects that would make this topic important for my students and just concentrate on that, right? Then what happens if suddenly the student asks a question that maybe I just go off topic or digress, because they are interested and I would like to continue to maybe teach them. Do I continue around this even though I know it's just gone beyond the structure of the subject?
All right, that's a great point. If you are actually teaching the key concepts and principles,
Right.
students will learn a lot better and quicker, which means that you can go off
Right.
to things that they're interested in.
Okay.
Whereas if you're trying to flog them to get through a particular test through just memorizing stuff
Right.
and not having those key concepts to build understanding, then you've got less time to go off the topic and also less time to have a little bit of fun, during a Friday afternoon session where people are tired.
Right.
So yeah, it works both ways. It's in a sense you're teaching less, but the students are learning more,
Right.
which gives you the opportunity not to put so much cognitive load on them in terms of working so hard to try to crunch stuff into their heads,
Okay.
which is pretty painful.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so you got it spot on, really.
Okay. Thank you.